Alright, welcome to the Ramshackle series. So I had some friends that were asking me to start making some videos on some of the games that I play, so I figured, hey, I started playing Arma, and I thought, Arma 3, and I thought I would do a video about it, because it can be a little bit imposing, and I think people have, like, differing ideas about it, so I'm going to try to keep the videos to about 20 minutes, and in this video, I'm going to focus mainly on the Exile mod and just some kind of basic Arma stuff. So a lot of you guys, maybe you'll have tips and tricks that go way beyond what I know. Please share them in the comments section below. Again, I'm just kind of starting off my Ramshackle series. I've been starting to make videos about games not everybody plays. And sorry for that loud sound. I'm going to talk about the sound in a second, but that guy just literally broke the sound barrier, so it's kind of hilarious. I just got to fly by. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to do a Ramshackle series. I'll be covering different games because I like to hop around and look at games, and see where they're at. EA games that I picked up and I'm in development. But anyways, we're in Arma 3 today, so let's check it out. So I'm going to keep these videos about 20 minutes long each. And just kind of hop around. I'll kind of try to cover... Oh, it sounds like he's getting ready for another flyby. You know what? I actually am near a runway, so I bet you that runway right over there. So I'm assuming that's probably where he took off. So, alright, Arma 3. Very realistic shooter. I'm sure if you're even watching this video, you're familiar with it. But maybe you're wondering, is this something that I want to pick up? Is this something I want to check out? And the answer is very much yes. If you're even here to check it out, then you absolutely want to play it. Now, the reason why is because it has a very, very active and vibrant modding community. So the game is supported. So you have a lot of content in the base game in the form of campaigns and scenarios, and you can play these with friends in multiplayer. And it's pretty seamless, pretty well put together. Some people, say the graphics are dated, like these rivets or, but it's not bad by any means. Now, some vehicles will look a little bit different. Maybe I'll cover that in a future video. Some of the community-made vehicles don't have the detail of the actual developed vehicles that were put into the game. And I'll actually kind of demonstrate that here in a moment. Meaning, like, if you look in the interior, if you're in a community vehicle, they may have not rendered the interior, or the interior. They may have not rendered the interior, so you just get a generic viewport. But if you're in, like, a tank DLC tank, then you'll, when you look around, you'll actually see your buddy sitting next to you and all the displays inside the tank work. And I'll kind of show that to you in a second. And they actually are functional displays. They're not just like plastered fake displays. They actually show... Oh, got another shot. He's probably on Combat Air Support. I'll explain all this. So he's doing CAS right now, or close on air support. So he's probably helping out players. Oh no, this is Zine Lee, Troop Transport. But he's probably helping other players out. So Arma 3, let's go over some of the real quick basics. You guys probably already know this, but we'll just go over it. So I on your keyboard will bring up, your inventory, and it's a paper doll sort of effect. So you got your main suit. Right now I'm wearing a VR suit because in Exile, I don't know if this carries over into the main game itself, but it's got a decent amount of carry space. So I'm wearing a carrier GL rig. To give this is like your, if you played Tarkov or any other games, it's your plate carrier. It's where you carry your clips. It's also your body armor. And then you have your backpack, and then different types of backpacks have different amount of space that they can carry. Then over here you have your essentials. Right now I have like NVGs, just fast MT sort of military helmets. I got a laser range finder. I got my XM8, which I'll show you. That's part of the mod. My map, GPS, compass, and radio. Now, if I didn't have any of these, they would have impacts on the game. Like if I didn't have the map, I wouldn't be able to bring the map up. If I didn't have the GPS, I wouldn't see where I was at on the map. radios can be used to pick up like enemy comm traffic depending on servers, how they set them up. It's kind of interesting. And then the Xmate's like a PDA. It's like what you guys got. And the different servers are set up really interesting. So some servers are set up to be very military oriented, and you just go on missions. It may be PvE, it may be PvP, it may be a mix of them. You may have zombies roaming around through cities. You may have roving AI going through cities. So this server does not. I'm currently on the O3G servers, but it's a pretty stable. These guys have been around for a long time. But you know, if you want to play a zombie game, get your DayZ sort of fix on, boom, you know, you do that free download. And that's why ARM is amazing. There's just so much, even just within that one mod architecture of Exile, there's just so much going on that you can really just find the game that you really want to play. Do you want to play in a world that's overrun with zombies in a PvP environment? Cool. Do you want it to only be PvE? Cool. You know, they got something to tailor to every taste. So if I hit M, scroll wheel will scroll in and out. You can see different missions. Now on this server, the missions are, all missions are denoted by a symbol with, you know, like a red circle with a symbol in the middle. Now, some servers, they scale the difficulty. So one, it'll be chevrons going up in difficulty. So 1 chevron would be easy, 2 would be medium, 3 would be hard, and then a kernel symbol's elite. And then on this one, like right here, we got a 2 chevron mission. It's pretty rare. I don't see these. Most of them are elite missions, which means high likelihood of running into an enemy tank. It says there's 15 units there, but you don't know what's there. There could be fixed gun emplacements. It's also how, I'm actually going to do, oh no, okay, I thought there was 50 dudes down there. I got kind of excited for a second. It's going to be like, oh yeah, I got to go do that. So, you know, the first thing you want to do when you get on one of these servers is, you know, pay attention to the chat in the lower left-hand corner. You can see it's color-coded. That light blue symbol is indicative of group chat, so everybody hears it. So as I cycle through the chat channels, that's vehicle channels, so people in my vehicle would hear it, anything I type, but nobody else would. Direct communication is people right around me, if I'm not mistaken. A side channel is what you just saw. Everybody on the server sees what you type, and I'm doing this by using the brackets, the whatever. I'm drunk right now. These symbols, basically, I'm typing down there. So when you're not in it, in the chat, that's how you cycle through them. That way, if you want to start typing, once you find the channel that you want to be in, you know, you just, you hit this key, the / key, and then escape will bring you out of it. You can see I've got a hunger and thirst. There's a little bit of survival element to the game. Let's see, let me bring some other things up. So you have your primary. Your primary can't have attachments that are, you know, certain guns can have certain attachments on them. Some cannot. Some can have bipods, some can have scopes, some can't. Right now I'm using an LMG. I was building up reputation, which I'll get to in a moment. Down here you can see I've got some cash on me. They call it pop taps, but basically think of it as dollars or whatever you want. I've got a rocket launcher as a secondary. It's a pretty garbage one. And then I'm rolling around with a 45. And then, you know, you can kind of see what I've got on me. I've got some food to drink and, you know, some good old cat food cooked. Well, that's kind of disturbing. Duct tape's like your universal thing in all Exile servers. If your vehicle gets damaged but not destroyed, you can repair it with duct tape. So as long as you have a roll of this stuff on you, you can repair vehicles. But the first thing you're going to want to do when you get on a server is hit the number 6 key, numeral 6. So this will bring up what is called the Xmate. Now if it is powered down and you're looking at a screen like this, simply click on the on-off button and boom, you're right into it. Now if we look at the AG network, anybody who's appearing on here, we can see them. So my name's Drake. And as long as they're their PDAs on, we can see. So there's 5 people on the server. This is a unique HUD UI element running along the bottom. The lower leftmost of that bar says 5 people. We look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all 5 people are there. So we see them. I could invite them to a party, invite them to family, and go back. I could start my, well, I guess I am in a party right now. I have a family. It's basically like a guild. I could, you know, I just joined, but I've got my own territory. It's at level 10. In future videos, I'll actually explain that. But it would be too much to go into right now because we're already about halfway through the video. So I just kind of want to go over some basics. But the first thing you want to look at, I guess your, kill-death ratio for those of you who are worried about it. And here's your overall pop tabs, what you have banked and what you have on you, which is this weird symbol down here. The locked icon represents what is in the bank. So it's 1.3 million is how that works out. And then the little bag icon is what I have on me. So if I die, these tabs will be on my corpse until my corpse despawns or somebody were to loot it. Now, you're always going to want to check server rules, whatever server you join. Now this server's got, you can see it goes further and I can't scroll. That's due to the limitations of the XM8, but they have a plugin here, so if you hit more, there's actually another server rules, and on this one I can scroll. And you always want to really look at this because it's ignorance is not bliss sort of thing, right? You are expected to read this when you log on to any server. All admins are going to be the same. So just take your time, go through it. I mean, it's going to give you important information. If you have a question, ask in that chat right now where you see it popping off. People asking questions nonstop or talking or just chatting. Usually there'll be a Discord or maybe a TeamSpeak. I think they actually use a TeamSpeak in this case, which is cool, But a lot of them have Discord. But they'll go over the rules here, and this really comes into play when you're trying to let's say find a spot to build a base. So as you can see, I've got a territory flag down there. But there were rules, and I had to actually find out the rules where I could only build so close to... Oh, I just turned night vision on. Sorry to blind you. So as you can see, I'm right here on this hilltop. This is a safe zone, and on most servers on the Altus map, this is gonna... It's basically like an airport terminal, and there's going to be traders all through here. So if you put it right in the center, you can see that waypoint is 2.6 kilometers from here, 2,600 meters, 2.6 kilometers. On this server, their rule is 1.5 kilometers. Some servers I've been on, it's 2 kilometers, some it's 2.5 kilometers. Some of them, if you leave your vehicle parked within this on a server restart, you'll lose your vehicle. Some of them will even go so far as to say you have to be without in a certain radius outside of that green boundary. And that has to do with server performance, because when people are constantly coming in here to sell stuff and do business and whatnot, any vehicles that are left, like if there's just a bunch of lazy people parking stuff around, as they come in, it's load on demand, so the server's having to load everything about that vehicle and everything that's in the contents of that vehicle, and it just can bog things down. But they're pretty generous on this server. Things move pretty quick, so they're pretty generous. Now some of the things you may have seen me do, number 1 key is obviously your primary. Number 2 would bring my sidearm out. If I hold down the Alt key and rotate, I can look around my guy. If I double tap the Alt key, it's a free. Now I'm not having to hold it, but it's kind of hard to move, right? To get back to normal mode, you just double tap your Alt key again. Your normal X to take a crouch. You can go prone by hitting Z. Now this will actually make you a more stable gun platform, so it is kind of realistic for that. If you have a bipod on your gun, like I've got one on this, if I come up to a surface that a bipod could be deployed on, if I hit C as in Charlie, it should deploy the bipod. I believe it's G. C. No. Just took my binoculars out like an idiot. Okay, well, I don't think it's letting me deploy the bipod. Is this gun have one? Yeah, it does. Okay, well, usually that would happen. So if you're up let me go downstairs and show you some of the other stuff while we're going. So if you see a doorway, spaces interact. So you go down, and if you're playing on these servers, you know, you'll look around, and it's kind of like DayZ, it's reminiscent of that. As a matter of fact, even a lot of these games got their start from that. You probably not recognize a lot of the assets, veterans of that. But you'd be looking for stuff on the ground, and if you see it, you just hover over it, and then hit the space bar, which is the interact. Again. So in this case, shift is run. There is no stamina, so you don't need to worry about that. There are unique keybinds for this. If you hit the tab key, it will show you some of the keybinds, so you can hit like 0 will do auto run, which is kind of nice. So instead of having to hit there and hold down the shift and W and you just start, you know, wearing down your keys, I could just hit 0, and I'm literally not even touching my keyboard right now, right? So, but then the moment I touch it again, so you could just hit 0 and then my guy just takes off running. I could put my gun away by hitting the number 4 key, and then my guy's doesn't have a single thing in his hands. And that's basically it. So let's talk about weapon gun behavior. Actually, you know what? I'll get to that in the next video. So let's see, is there anything else that I can kind of cover? Okay, so on the map, you have two different things. So this map, right click and drag and you can look around, scroll wheel in and out. That's your current location as long as you have a GPS. But up here you're going to notice something very interesting, toggle map texture. So right now it's actually looking like a satellite, kind of, right? But if you look at my cursor, you can see it's changing. Underneath it, it's not only got grid coordinates, the top number is the coordinate of where the cursor's at, but underneath it is the elevation at where that cursor's at. And it actually comes into play if you're planning an attack on a mission. So let me show you like a topography sort of view. So this takes away all the color, makes it really easy. You see numbers. So I can see that I'm on a hill that is, get rid of that, 76 meters, you can see right there. Then it dips down, there's another hill over here, 44 meters, there's a gulf in between us, but the reason I'm bringing that up is if we look at this mission, it's at an elevation of 66 meters, but we see there's a hill of 93 meters here. So if we were going to go do this mission, to get a line of sight on it, you would have to be danger close. So if there's any armor here or lots of guys, which in this case there's 13 guys, you would want to plan your approach. We can see there's a valley that comes through here. Maybe you want to see, you know, the smart thing would be maybe to, you know, creep up on them. Maybe come around here, and then right here you'd have a perfect firing shot right down this ravine. So, you know, a lot of that kind of comes into play. And then you can put down waypoints by shift left clicking, and those will actually pop up on my display if you see them now. So now I've got all these little markers, and to get rid of them, all I got to do is just simply hover over them and hit delete. And you can place permanent way markers, and I'm going to get into mission claiming here on the next video, but we've hit about the 20-minute mark. So this is video 2. Again, sorry, I don't know if I said this at the beginning, but I'm using a very, very low quality mic. I'm not a professional streamer. I'm just getting in. I'm sorry, no flashy intros. I'm just kind of getting into it and trying to introduce it to new people, so to speak, being Arma. So in the next video we'll talk about weapon mechanics, and we'll talk about claiming missions, and then I think maybe the final mission I will actually show vehicle operations and how to do that, because vehicles are very, very unique. Helicopters are not like Grand Theft Auto or other games where it's really easy. You have to actually factor in momentum and pitch and yaw and the jets and VTOL, and it's very complex. But anyways, we'll get into that in the next video, and I hope to see you there. Take it easy.